Sorry, guys. Allergies. Hi, everyone. This is Allison from Allykatkreations. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And if you get anything from my work, a connected dot, an epiphany, a mind-blown moment, a new book to read, a new author to explore, please consider supporting my work. All the links are at the bottom of the description. The Temple of Silence is going to be tackled, but we're going to do one chapter because it is a really short book. So I'm going to do just one chapter. Also, allergies. So I had to mow my lawn, and then half my lawn is dying. It's weird because I laid seed down. But as I'm mowing, I'm like nonstop sneezing. I see all the leaves are falling off the trees, and I had this problem in New York as well. But I'm in a new area with different types of pollen because a lot of the plants that are here are not really where I was in Staten Island. Not to say it's the same latitude, longitude almost, but there's a lot of newer types of pollen here than it is by me where I was. So my body takes a year or two to get used to the pollen so that I'm not coughing, sneezing, and all that fun stuff. But I've had that my whole life. Not worried about it. It's just annoying. And all this behind you is keychains. Some of them came out pretty good. Others came out junky. I have to switch my epoxy up for the smaller stuff. So I got a lot of different little gems. And then I had to buy new molds because the tips aren't coming out pointed. Fun. And then some of the stuff, the middles are not drying properly. And even though I'm mixing and I have my heater over there, you know, some stuff comes out great, some stuff. So it's a process. It's annoying, but working, and whatever works great and whatever doesn't, we'll figure it out. Trial and error. I feel like Tesla sometimes. It's not fun because it's expensive. So because I had a sneezing fit earlier and coughing, I still want to get a video out. I love this book already. And because it's so short, I'm going to do this one chapter and probably talk through it because I did a lot of ranting on the last one and it was a long video. I'm trying to keep the videos at an hour. Sometimes I can't. Quote, this is entering the silence. Quote, but thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut thy door, pray to thy Father which is in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly. End quote, St. Matthew. Before I even go into this part, as soon as I started reading that quote, and I've heard this many times before, the movie Carrie, it's Halloween season, right? The mother in Carrie made her daughter go into a closet and literally have a shrine and pray, right? That it's so misinterpreted. Okay. And you can perceive it that way, right? But what is the closet? Opening up the door in your mind. Having the door open up so you let God in. Even though you're a fractal of source, you still got to let your higher self, you have to link that, open that link. So a lot of people don't realize, mediums, psychics, and people like myself, it's not like I see dead people, right? Some people have to tune into, go into meditation, clap. I know a few mediums that do this a lot. They take objects and they feel them. You have to open that ability for it to function. Like if you were to be hearing dead people all day long, you would be schizophrenic by the end of the day, because you wouldn't know your own thoughts to a dead person's, right? So most mediums have to close their door so that they can live their normal lives. And when it's time for them to do their work, they open their door so that they can hear and they can see and whatever have you. They got to open and shut the door. So very interesting and secret, because you're praying in your mind. I mean, most people pray out loud, and that's fine, but your thoughts go straight up. You can say the words, but you can say them in your head as well. The importance of having a set time each day when we focus our attention upon the ideals which we are striving to express, and when we strive to commune with the higher spiritual consciousness of our Father in heaven, or higher self, cannot be too strangely realized. But such a period of silence and quiet meditation is far from what is meant by truly entering the silence. Entering the silence is an ecstatic state in which the human consciousness is transcended, and while it lasts, all sense of personality is lost. I reach this state not every time I meditate, but when I'm in a deep meditation, I reach this state. I did today. I mowed the lawn, and then my body was killing me, so I hopped in the hot tub. It was nice out today, so I'm able to do that. Soon that thing is going out and being drained. But when I'm sitting in a body of water and I'm relaxed and I feel so at peace with everything, and I do my bubbling, I put my shields up, I go and do my Merkaba, and I'm seeing like all the things that need to be, that I see, and then I go deeper. And then I hit this ecstatic state. It is profound. It takes a lot of work to get there. Some people, it's a snap. Other people, you got to keep working at it. And don't let it get frustrating, because meditation is great anyway. Praying is great anyway. It's not the easiest state to get. I can't get it all the time. I have to be ultimately unbothered in such a relaxed, just close to sleeping state. And then this state of consciousness cannot be attained by intellectual process, by an effort of will, or by any set exercises. In fact, its attainment cannot be taught. In spite of the many claims made and many directions for entering the silence, which had been published, it is attained in so many ways by various types of mind that no one method can be guaranteed, that's true, to produce results. again, like I said, I have a specific intention just to do my shielding and to make the water healing water, and focus my intention on the water, that it heals my body. And I'm putting my, I'm taking my heart and I'm growing that white light bubble and encasing myself like an egg. And then I have my shielding. And then I can go in a million other directions, whatever I want to obtain in that meditation, whether it just be me laying and looking up at the trees, or me with my eyes closed and getting lost. Everybody's method of meditation is different, and do not compare yours to anybody else's. This is not an easy state to get to. I've been there. I was in it today, but it's not, and I don't have an expectation for it. And I don't guarantee myself to ever get to that state. It just happens. So there's no, I'm giving you my ingredients to what I do might not work for you. And that's with many people. The most that can be done is to help prepare the preliminary conditions for its obtainment. And as we have already described this preliminary preparation in our Voice of Isis, which I'm definitely tackling, don't you worry, we will quote from the work as follows. Quote, the student should pause here and clearly distinguish between concentration, meditation, prayer, and entering the silence. Concentration is focusing the attention upon a chosen object or idea. It is the first step toward accomplishing any given end, either in the physical, mental, or higher worlds. Meditation is turning over in the mind a thought or an idea that you may see it from every standpoint and grasp all its phases and relations. It is it is an active mental process which can even occupy the undercurrents of your mind, while the mind may be overseeing more superficial affairs. The proof that we can meditate while engaged in our daily affairs is found in the fact that if we have some great joy or sorrow, it will remain in the background of our consciousness, no matter what we do to distract our attention from it. Apply the same principle to your spiritual life and make the attainment of that life your main thought and aim. So a good example is when I'm making my artwork, I'm not even thinking, I'm just doing, and I zone out. Most people, when you zone out, you're meditating. There's different forms and functions of meditation. There's different types of meditation, but when you're in the act of doing something and you kind of zone out, but you're still doing it, you're meditating. You're still awake and conscious, but the act of doing something, you're zoning. I didn't know if I explained that properly, but that's what I get. Because a lot of people can't sit in not their kind of silence, but like sit quietly still in whatever. Again, you don't need to sit like a lotus position and put your fingers in different mudras, and everybody's different. Prayer is an aspiration of the soul toward the divine. It may be also a request, not for creature comforts and physical things. Forced answers to such prayers are too often but the result of mental magic. But for spiritual food, love, light, courage, in fact, prayer creates a magnetic line of force which unites you with the supply or answer. While we teach that life itself brings to the earnest seeker all the discipline necessary to strengthen his will, and that the ruling of his life brings the most rapid spiritual growth, still, it is well to have a definite time set apart each day for concentration and meditation upon the end for which he is striving. Just as an example, take the sentence, grow as a flower grows, unconsciously but eagerly anxious to open its soul to the sun. To meditate upon the above quotation, let the pupil sit apart a certain time each day, preferably in the early morning, rising 10 or 15 minutes early if necessary, and sit in a quiet spot in the same chair if possible, and repeat the foregoing passage with a prayer for light and understanding and meditation upon it. I really highly suggest doing that. Upon my waking, I put my shield and protection on. I give my I say my attitude to gratitudes. I'm worthy. I am worth it. I am what I am in all my acceptance. And whatever I do affirmations. I don't tend to pray often. I have to really think about, besides being grateful and thank you, I pray over my food, but like in the morning, I kind of try to set my mindset to, I'm going to have a great day today. Things are going to work out in my favor today. Things like that. So I will put my shield and do my energy work, and then I'll do that. And it takes no longer than 5-10 minutes. You could do this in the shower. I know it says the same spot. Some people don't have that ability to have the same spot. Do what works for you, and what works for you is different from everybody else. But like being in the same, I'm going to say this. I did a lot of my work in my room at my old house. I had to move to the room next to that room because of the Stargate. I would, after like deeply meditating in my room, I would notice some things that were not cool to be seen. So I had to get my light directly out of the way and put it into another space. And then, but being in the same place for 38 years and doing all that meditative work, 25 years, you build up a lot of energy in the space, and it's easy for connections to be made. But time has changed and things have changed in our paradigm. So a lot of things is just a lot easier just to think about it. If that makes sense. Like you're trying to build up the energy in and around a space. So when you're sitting in that space, the energy, the frequency and the vibration gets your message and gets you in a state quicker than if you were not in the same place every day. But I think that a lot of that has changed since this was written, by the way. Try to picture mentally the growth of a flower. Follow every step of its unfoldment. First, the tiny seed buried in the dark earth, then the force within that seed which makes it, by and by, burst through its confining shell. Let your mind enter into, in fact, for the time being, become this flower. Dwell upon the period of darkness while the seed is sending forth its thread like feelers, groping everywhere in the dark and gathering nourishment from the earth. With unerring instinct, it follows the law of its being, selecting such nourishment as it will assist its growth and rejecting that which is inharmonious. Following the seedling through every phase of its growth, at each step apply the same law to your own growth. Think of the soul as planted in the darkness and loneliness of the material conditions of this earth, yet containing within it the possibilities of fruition, its immortal destiny. Do not try to follow the seed through every step of its life journey at the first sitting, but meditate day after day upon one stage or step of growth at a time, correlating yourself with it until you are sure you have mastered its lessons and have realized their application to your own spiritual growth. Above all, make the point very clear that the seed has no personal desire to grow, nor to excel some other seed, but that it is fully occupied in fulfilling the law of its being, to open its soul to the sun. It's a beautiful meditation. I've done it a few times. When you have mastered one phase of growth, you are ready to pass on to the next. And only when you have, at least in some measure, grasped all the lessons thus taught, are you ready to enter into the silence, where you can learn from the divine and hear the voice of your higher self, the master whom as yet thou hast not seen, but whom thou feelest. Another excellent exercise is to prepare the mind and exalt the consciousness as you aspire to enter the silence, is to begin by repeating our prayer for light. Quote, O Christ, light thou within my heart the flame of divine love and wisdom, that I may dwell forever in the radiance of thy countenance and rest in the light of thy smile. End quote. After repeating this prayer, see with your mind's eye the divine light descending upon you like a beam from my gigantic searchlight far above your head. See the beam of light surrounding you with a circle of brilliant white light forming the ring pass not around you to protect you from all other influences. I had something similar to this, but again, it's for protection. But okay, I'm not trying to be funny, but I am when I hear these words, what I picture is a UFO with the circular beam of like the light, and it's bright on you. Okay, like some people need visuals, so that to me in a funny way is you're being beamed, literally. So most people could look at a picture of UFO and beaming something up. It's bright white light, so you could see it that way, but not thinking of the UFO, but thinking of that vision. If you have an imagination, you can definitely do with the light from upstairs, like a beam. When I meditate, I don't necessarily say anything like a prayer or anything. I'm a visual, and I use my imagination. But I always see this humongous Sims beam, like the Sim character. But I use the Sim symbol, like a Merkaba spinning, like I'm a GPS point, right? And I see the beam of light coming off of my head. Not it coming down into me, but me bringing that light up to them. But again, if you have a hard time, I know I've talked to some people that have a hard time visualizing things in meditation, or like having something. Try looking for guided meditations, because it's going to walk you through a lot of this. It's not easy to have to remember all these words, and you say it wrong, you think you did wrong. No. But a lot of people, if you look at an image and focus upon the image, that will help you remember it. So when you do this, instinctually like, oh, the UFO. Okay, that's the kind of light I need to bring down on me. Like I'm looking at it coming down on me. Okay, cool. So I just want to give some tips and tools because everybody is different. Everybody sees things differently. And don't feel ashamed if you have to watch a movie or look at pictures to get an idea of what it might look like. Some people they need help in that arena, and that's fine. Always go look online, go look at books to see artworks, to see what that divine light might look like for you. Pick the one that you resonate with. As the light surrounds you, see it awakening within you, within your heart, a tiny bright flame. Watch this flame spring up and grow until it illumines every fiber of your being with the divine love and compassion. Then see it ascend and blend into and make you one with the divine flame that is pouring down upon you. Then ascend in consciousness within the column of light to the realms of the divine consciousness, where you lose yourself in oneness with the divine. Yes. Very powerful. Side note though from this, because what I've been doing for a very long time is when I'm sitting in meditation, I am envisioning all the air that I'm breathing in, like when you take your breath in, all of that is pure white golden light. And I'm watching that light enter into my body and dispersing that light to every one of my cells, organs, tissues, all of it. That's kind of what I was doing today, and that's what ended up happening. But visualize your heart space, your chakra, your heart, growing this really big white ball intensity, and let it surround you like an egg. Like, you know how you see like Yeshua Melchizedek with the halo? Well, like take that halo and put it around your body. Once you can get that down and see it and keep working with it, it's very powerful. Only when the flower blooms does it open its heart to the silent power of the sun and drink in the magnetic forces, which could not lie assimilated until the bloom had unfolded. In the same way, must the student open his heart to the sun of righteousness, or he is ready to learn from the voice of the silence. While all tension of body and mind should be relaxed, it is important not to allow yourself to become negative, as is taught by some cults. For to do so is to throw your consciousness open, not to the divine, but merely to the astral world and its inhabitants. The mind should be neither negative nor tense, but actively receptive. And that's very true. So I find it that when I'm in, you could do it in your bathtub if you're somebody that likes to soak. I go into the tub, the hot tub, and I put the temperature up, and then when I'm laying or sitting back with my my back straight, but I'm all at peace and I'm not in pain, and I am just still, and I'm just there to be. It's beyond relaxing. When you're doing meditation, a lot of people tell you have to sit in a chair. Not everybody has this luxury with their bodies, right? A lot of people have a lot of disabilities nowadays. So I have right over there a bean bag. that I lay on. I also have meditation cushions. When I can sit up, I'll sit there. I give myself multiple options. And there's small little spots. I mean, I got the bean bags for people to crash on if they're tired, or they can lay down and relax when I have guests over. Everybody's different. So don't think you have to sit in a chair or do something a specific way. Do it for what it is for you to be comfortable, so you can get into that relaxed state. Also, if you prolong your attempt to enter the silence beyond a reasonable length of time, you are apt to drop down into a negative vibration, just as a pure high note can be struck in singing. But if it is held too long there, it is a tendency to flatten the note. Do not try to enter the silence in a crowd or a large audience, or even in a smaller group who are not harmonized to you. For every miscellaneous gathering generates a vortex of mixed forces. That's important, which attracts various classes from the astral world. That it does. Also, in such a gathering, there are always some few who, instead of entering the relevant awe into the holy temple of silence, merely sit quietly and become negative, thus opening themselves to the astral beings who can be seen swarming around such gatherings. Yes. I wish this video was still up because it was taken down. Thank you, YouTube. You suck sometimes. Ashiana Dean talks about this, and she does a lot of meditative work, but she went to an expo and a guy was talking, and she started seeing like not good things happening in the room where no one else were visually able to see it or feel it. People are just sitting there listening to some dude talk. And there was a lot of astral courting happening and a lot of things going on. And she was there to hold frequency in space so that it wouldn't affect other people. Unlike that, in a way, when I'm around certain people, I'm holding their frequency, light, space for them. I tend to meditate alone. I tend to meditate by myself. If I'm in a group of others, I'm always shielding myself before I do any other work. I always start out with my shielding in the morning, but I increase my energy shield when I'm in meditation, because I can trans-channel. And if I get into that mentally state, I don't want nothing jumping into me. I don't channel like that. And I don't want to. I don't want it being jumping into me. So I have to put up a lot of different variety of things. Before you join a meditation group, and before you want to do something with a mass amounts of people, and I know people do these like massive earth guided meditations around the world to put good intentions, just make sure you're shielding yourself. And not to say the meditation don't do it, it's just be aware that you need to protect your energy field. You need to protect yourself. You don't need an entity when you're and yes, you are protected. The divine has your back, but that free will doesn't mean that they can't influence something around you. So just be aware. Feel the people out that if you're going into these meditative spaces and you're going and doing trans channeling, like read the Law of One, what Don and Jim and Carla had to do to even get the channeling to flow. Holy shit. Right? Like, and I mean, the same happens with what the LL research doing Quo. Like everybody has a part to play and everybody has to be on the same page or else shit doesn't work. Okay. And that's the thing you need to be like very transparent about. And I'm only going into this because I have done a lot of meditating in my life. I know what works for me and I know what works and how other people ask me questions. I'm like, well, here, did you try XYZ? Right? Like I want to be as much of a help as possible. I don't always have the right answer sometimes. Again, I didn't go to meditative school, but I've done it enough in my life and can reach to accelerated points. But they make a big argument that is the truth that other people have said and witnessed. Just make sure when you're doing group activities and group meditation that it's not one of those meditations where you are going to source, where you are in a group doing some seriousness in your meditation. If you're doing meditation for the earth, any meditation, you should protect yourself. But just be aware of the resonance in the room and pick up on what other people's feelings are. Like protect yourself. You have to protect your energy. It's bigly. Therefore, do not try to sit too long and do not enter the silence with a large number of others not known and affinitized to you. Should the student attempt to enter the silence with no definite idea as to whose voice he is listening for, who the master is upon whom he is fixed his whole attention, he is in great danger of receiving impressions from astral entities, either departed friends, elementals, or powerful but perverted entities, who would deliberately mislead and deceive him and use him as a tool to further their ends. And again, this doesn't need to be a demonic. Okay? It doesn't. People think, oh, it's just the evil that mimics good. If you feel the frequency and they just disguise themselves. Yeah, no, but that is also very, very true. Like when you do the inner work, when you start reaching your higher self, you talk to your higher self. I know way too many people who are deceived when they are channeling. Oh, but my counsel. Oh, but this one. I can feel when certain people that I listen to, I don't resonate with everything that they channel. I only resonate with certain individuals I know that they are really connecting with, and it's really coming through because you can look at the body, you can look at the voice, you can see the difference in a person when they have an embodiment in other than themselves when they're channeling. And with certain people, I can sense when they're channeling that it's not really what they think it is. And I'm not the expert, but I know what I feel. You all have to feel it for yourselves. I can't be the arbiter of who's channeling who and what and what's correct and what's not. It's not about that. It's what you're resonating with. Again, you gotta they go into this in the realms of the living dead. What questions you have to ask to make sure what you are receiving is of the highest of the high and it's from source itself or your higher self. If you're getting, and I'm not talking about your guides, like I have a freaking humongous amount. So some of them are elementals, some of them are of different densities, right? but I know their frequency. Like I can have that distinguished, but people starting out might not. So just be aware. It's not just negative. You're told that negative can come and be deceitful and play a role of a parent or of a friend. But it's really your departed friend trying to give you some advice, but it's not of your highest good. It's just from their perspective. For this reason, the attitude of soul that must always be held in one of deep humility and ardent, aspiring devotion to the divine. There must always be the positive expectation of entering the presence of the divine. There must be a definite and fixed determination to listen to nothing else and to permit nothing else to enter your aura. Very important. Have no fear, however, for fear, O discipline, kills the will and stays in action. When Jesus told his disciples to enter into the closet and shut the door, the closet referred to the silence, and the door which they were to shut was the door of their mind. To acquire the ability to enter the silence properly will take time. For you will find your mind fairly bombarded by thoughts, often of trivial nature, which you must determinately still. This may require weeks or months of practice. For as you silence thoughts on one stratum of consciousness, your mind will still be active, but in a more interior way. Yes, even I have at times. I go into meditation and for 5-10 minutes just to do it. I know what I know my routine. And sometimes I change it up, but I still am aware what goes on. When I'm going and doing my deeper work, if I'm having one of those days where my energy is all frayed and all over the place and my mind is like, it is hard to meditate. Just putting that out there. But there's a few things you can do to silence your mind. There's Brian Scott in some of his meditations will like put you in a thought and tell you to visualize number one, and like it's spinning and it's this color. And anytime you need to come back to this as your mind is tangled, you just visualize that number one. It's like training your brain to fixate on something. Early on, learning how to meditate, someone told me to visualize a white sheet of paper in a never-ending free fall. Just watching the paper fall. Just keep falling. It's blank piece of paper. It's white. It just falls. And you're watching it in your mind. You could do that with a feather as well. If you can't get the trivial shit, in monkey mind. But I have to go there. I have to do this. Try to pick a time where things are still, or a day of the week that you can just relax. And when you can relax and you can still your body and just be in the moment, it is way easier to quiet the monkey mind of the racing thoughts that you usually keep going through your head. But if you have a slow day and you take things as they come, even if you do have a thing pop up, that's okay. Envision something that's calming, that you're not even thinking about. You're just watching it in your head, and you're just watching the paper fall. And it's just forever falling. It doesn't have an end point. and just focus on that. Because when you do that, or you focus on your breath, some people can calm down and not think of anything and just focus on breath. Some people need a visual. It takes time. Don't beat yourself up over it. The point of you even going in and trying is like, I applaud you. For real. That's important. You're trying, you're making an effort. That's one step further than other people. Merge into one sense thy senses. If thou wouldest be secure against the foe, 'tis by the sense alone which lies concealed within the hollow of thy brain, that the steep path which leadeth to thy master may be disclosed before thy soul's dim eyes. Do not grow discouraged. Have patience. Candidate is as one who fears no failure, courts no success. When you find your mind wandering, bring it back. If necessary, repeat, peace, be still. Often is a help to repeat the word silence or repeat your given name again and again. But when you have gained the power of silence, stop even these helps. Your mind must be like a still mountain lake, without a ripple, capable of perfectly reflecting every passing cloud. If the surface of the lake is agitated, even by a ripple, the images on its surface will be distorted. So it is with the mind. Only when you have obtained this quietude of mind can you hear the voice of silence within the intermixture of personality, and observe without distortion the heavenly images reflected in your mind from your Father in heaven. And that is for that chapter. I will say that I've hit different plateaus and peaks in my, time meditating, and in the span of a long time. Every morning I used to wake up. I didn't have time to meditate when I was living in New York. I would get on the bus, put some soothing music on, so it drowns out people coughing and people on their phones, and I would put my music on and I would meditate then. Some people need to start out with guided meditation. I really highly suggest Brian Scott of the Reality Revolution. He's on YouTube. He wrote a book. He is phenomenal. He reads a lot of quote, Neville Goddard. He reads a lot of books. He does what I do. He's been doing it before me, but he also adds the element of sound in different processes of meditation. Some people need guided meditation. I still love guided meditation, but I don't need it anymore if I don't want it. It's easier to have someone tell you and walk you through what you need to see and what you want to have experience, and then they take a step back where they let you do what you need to do to see what they just said. And then in time, they come back in and they steer you to another direction. It's very important that you find what works for you, and that takes time and patience. Like I said, today, I was wonky yesterday. We saw that if you watch my video from yesterday, I was a hot mess. Not gonna lie, hot mess. But that happens. We're human, right? So I had to take today to go out it was beautiful out today. I mowed the lawn. I was meditating. Then I was listening to binaural beats as I was and weed whacking. But I went in to the tub to just be at one with myself. Not all the time can I get that far, but when I do, I start seeing things. I start getting my downloads. And then it takes me some days to process what I just did in a meditation, or what the things I got received. Everybody processes things differently. The biggest applause that you can give yourself is for trying. It took me a long time to get where I am now. A long time. But you know what? I have time. So do you. And if you take little portions of your day to pray, get your intentions right, do your affirmations. Sometimes your monkey mind is going off. Just start rattling off affirmations for yourself. If you are taking the time to relax and to like be with yourself, and you just can't visualize that white paper because the white paper starts getting letters on it, and you keep thinking, well, nah, nah, nah. Affirmations, guided meditations. There is a lot of other expert, Dr. Silva, Joe Dispenza. There's a lot of stuff you can find on YouTube. It depends what you want to meditate on. Some people want to clear their chakras. Some people want to align with the earth. Some people want to bless and, like protect earth. Some people want to reach up to source. I mean, it all varies. You can meditate on anything. Like, I can't get a job. Like, all right, like using the force. Hi, source. What's going on? Okay, divine timing. Okay, great. Right? Like, it takes time. But the idea is to just relax and let yourself be. And if that means, if you're not a meditator, or you're somebody that's like, but the but song, go outside with your cup of tea or your cup of coffee and just be with nature. Watch the birds. In the morning, you know what I do? I go to my screen door and I feed little Thor. And while he's eating and I'm, trying to get some cute pictures or videos of his cuteness, I will look up in the trees. I will look at the birds. I will look up at the sky, at the clouds. I will just try to appreciate the vision and the beauty that I have in front of me. That's a start. Even if you're in an apartment building, because I have a lot of people from New York that watch me. Hi. Go look at your window and look at the clouds. You don't need to have, nature is whatever is in your perception. So just be mindful. Well, I also don't have trees and I don't have a backyard like that. Find the beauty in something and enjoy it. Be grateful for the breath that you have. Meditation is not just, it's your entire body has to be in a state of relaxation. You have to be at 1 minute with your breath. Breath work is so important. And let me tell you, it is not easy at times to do certain breathing techniques. There's the dragon breath. There's the switch hit nostril. There's, nose to mouth. And sometimes not everybody is able to do that. Or there's too much going on. Whatever have you. If you're just starting out, start out with simple things. See what works for you. See if a sleep meditation, a guided sleep meditation, Brian Scott has them. I sometimes put them on. They're amazing. if you're with somebody and they can't handle sound, like, get yourself headphones. I love going to sleep to affirmations because my subconscious picks it up. Just because you're asleep doesn't mean that your brain is still not, your brain is always working. So are your ears, and it's going to take in what you need. So just try different methods. I wanted to focus. I saw the title. I'm like, oh boy. But I just want you guys to be aware that there is a ton of different types of meditating and meditation. And what they're talking about specifically is something that it takes a while to practice and to obtain. It's not one of those easy 1, 2 done and great, right? This whole entire process takes time. Don't beat yourself up. Again, sit and just go at it. Like, I had no intentions today. I just wanted to relax. And I always meditate when I'm relaxing. So I just happen to hit a state of mind that I've hit before, but it's not all the time. Today I needed it. But I hope someone in the chat type me in some comments. Tell me what you do. What's your procedure? What's some of your methods? Who do you listen to? I'm not the expert. I'm just giving you my opinion, my sources, what I do, right? And it's not going, everybody meditates differently and everybody needs different things, right? What do you use? Collectively, the more ideas that we get will help other people, because not everything that I use and do is going to help you. Vice versa. But the idea is we are divine. We want to obtain the oneness, and we want to go to our higher selves. We want to reach divine. We want to be able to converse and get those images and visualizations that you can get. It's about, how do I get there? What are the process? And their process is pretty solid. But again, it might not work for you. So take what resonates, write down what helps you get into that state. And next time we will read the scientific method. And this is more, I'm just seeing what's on the screen. Relax, rhythmic breathing. So this is going to be a really good next video, but I knew I was going to rant. Again, this is why their work in totality is amazing, because they equate a lot of things together, but make it make sense. So guys, tell me what your meditation, if you meditate, do you pray? What do you do in the morning? What's your routine? Do you have a spot? Tell me. I'd like to hear them. I'd like to see the comments. Some people write me comments. Hi, I respond back. Sometimes I can't right away. Sometimes YouTube doesn't tell me that I have comments, but eventually we'll get to them. But we need to help each other out. Even if somebody's not subscribed to me, doesn't like my video, but watches it, maybe they looked at the comments and something someone said helped them. I'm trying to create the Amish mindset again, where we're all participatingly helping other people. Might not be me that's the help. It might be one of your comments that helps somebody else, and you're even unaware of it. Let's have Amish mindset, guys. We're at a place where we need it. I'm seeing it, what the time is now podcast done for me. Please go check them out on Rumble. They are on Mondays at 8 Eastern and Wednesdays at 8 Eastern on Rumble. The Time Is Now podcast. It's a bunch of people talking and having beautiful conversations. Sometimes there's a lot of information. Other times it's just great conversations and with great people. And they have a lot of guests on. Again, Amish mindset, they're helping me out. I'm going to help them out. We need to support each other. Support and keep that support going. Amish mindset. That's all I'm trying to say, guys. We really need to come and pick up a community, and a lot of people need to be picked up, whether it be spiritually, whether it be financially, whether it be awakening, whether it be just, getting someone's mind straight. We need to be here for each other. And don't shy away. If your comments are derogatory, I get some of that on BitChute. Hi BitChute friends. She looks like a tranny. She looks like a witch. She looks like she's satanic. I don't care. Why are you watching me? Oh, that's right. You get paid to troll. I know about you people. I know about that job. You get paid a nice hand. I don't care. Right? I'm here to help other people in the way I know how to. So please leave your comments. No matter what avenue, what show, whatever. I'm on 3 platforms. I don't care. Write your comments, because it's not your guys might be helping me too, but you're helping a vast amount of people that I know don't know how to go into the silence or just meditate generally. This is very important if we want to be at one with ourselves. And everybody asks me, how do you know that you're divine? How do you know that you're this? How do you know? Because I do the work, and that requires meditation for me. A lot of my answers have come through meditation. I just don't pluck. I mean, a lot of things I can pluck out of the ether, but my bigger questions, I got to go and sit and do the work. And I do it through meditation. When I say I do the work, like, I know what I am because I took the time to work on myself. It just starts small and it will grow, and you give yourself patience. And not every day are you going to feel successful, but the idea is you got up, be thankful for your breath. Be thankful that you woke your eyes woke up and you saw the world today. And even if you're blind, that you woke up with your breath. Do little things each day, and the work will start building, and you'll start having a habit of putting it into more of your life. When you walk into your authenticity, which is divine self-love and unwavering knowing of what you are, and that you're expressing yourself, your divine self. I walk in my authenticity. I've always walked in my authenticity. Why? I am who I am, and I don't give a shit what other people think of me. I stand in my conviction, and I walk my forward path. I don't care what other people think of my exterior. Do you know what's going on in here? And that's the most authentic part of your body, is your heart, your love for yourself. Walking your authentic path, walking in your words, vibrating not faking it till you make it, but you are walking in it to bring it. And that's what I'm hoping when you do the work, that's what you're empowering yourself to do. A lot of people might be jealous of what I am or what I have, but you are that too. You're just not there yet to realize it. Or you understand it, but you don't believe it for yourself. There's a lot of doubting happening in the community right now. There's a lot of self-doubt, or there's a lot of like, I don't know who to follow because everybody's woo-woo. Go within. Go within. Transcend the nonsense. It's going to be there. It's going to be there. I'm finding myself being more distracted to get up and do other things and listen to my podcast than sometimes being in the chat because of what is being said in the chat. And I got to transcend that because they are where they are. And it's not their time yet to move forward. So I have to respect that. So instead of bombarding people with information they're not going to be able to get seated with, I just have to. And then I come back. Instead of getting frustrated for things that I can't change, I just rather be respectful to the whole and not be the that person, and do the right thing. And with that, sending each and every one of you love, light, protection, and shielding. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I appreciate it. And I appreciate all of you people who have supported me. And I really thank all of you who have been a bright light to me. Angels walk all over the place, and many of you are angels. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my deepest part of my soul. For some reason, the community is growing and it's getting more bright and beautiful each and every day. So have a good rest of your week. Please be safe, be seen, and I'll see you on the next one, guys.